There's a new Trek Actually video coming out soon, but unfortunately, the script for that wasn't quite ready to shoot this week. So you know what that means? It's time once again to phone it in. Props. Phone it. Hey, by the way, children, this is a telephone. This is what they used to look like. You used to have to call each other on those instead of the thing that you carry in your pocket. Anyway, it's not actually Trek Actually. So for this video, I thought I would take a suggestion sent to me by a viewer whose name I can't remember and have some fun taking some Star Trek quizzes. And this is actually a little risky on my part because I've kind of set myself up with this series as the Star Trek guy, as an expert on all things Trek, and if I blow these quizzes, then there goes my credibility right down the toilet. I do want to tell you, the quizzes I'm about to take, I have not taken before. I haven't peeked at the questions. I don't know what they are. So if I do really good, I'm really doing good. If I do completely poorly, why would I fake that? Why would I make that part of the performance? But anyway, I'm seeing these quizzes and these questions for the first time. I realize there's no way I can prove that to you, but I think we have trust, don't we? We have trust. So I've selected 4 Star Trek quizzes. I picked the ones that seemed like they were from the most reputable sources. But again, I haven't taken any of these quizzes before. I don't know what any of these questions are. So we're just going to see how well I do. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself too much. The first one that I'm going to take is a 12-question quiz from space.com. It's titled Star Trek Quiz 12 Questions to Help You Live Long and Prosper. Question number 1. Spock is a logical alien on the USS Enterprise in Star Trek the Original Series. Very helpful. I like the detail. Whose mother was human, making him more emotional than other aliens of his home world. What kind of alien species is Spock's father? Okay, this is like just a preposterously easy question, but I do appreciate the acknowledgement that Spock is not a full-blooded alien, but is half human, which was a plot point not only in Star Trek, but also in an anecdote David Brent tells in the British version of The Office. I appreciate that. Anyway, obviously, Spock was a Vulcan. Yes, correct. I don't really need you to tell me that. Okay. In Star Trek Voyager, crew members of the Starfleet vessel USS Voyager chase down a renegade ship and realize, to their chagrin, nice, that they are stranded very far from home. At top speed, how long would it take the crew to get back? That would be 75 years. They were chagrined. Next question. What is the bat'leth? Is it a Klingon insult, a position of high regard in the Vulcan Academy, a part of the reproductive cycle of Vulcans, or a traditional Klingon sword of honor? It is, of course, a traditional Klingon sword. Okay. Number 4. Which of these people has not been a cybernetic or artificial being at some point in their lives? The choices are Data, Dr. McCoy, 7 of 9, and Captain Jean-Luc Picard. I'm going to go with McCoy. I think that's the safest choice. Yes, he was never quite a cybernetic life form, although when he appeared in Encounter at Farpoint, he did seem to be maybe not cybernetically altered, but he was augmented. He was an old man, and you would imagine he had some organs replaced, and he probably had some cybernetic things going on there, but I suppose an old man with some prostheses isn't really considered a cybernetic life form. Okay, number 5. Star Trek starships are full of futuristic equipment. If somebody asks to be beamed up, what equipment would be used for this? God help me if I don't know this one. I did a whole video in the Trek Actually series about the transporter. Correct. Thank you very much. Okay. The beginning of Star Trek Deep Space Nine makes frequent mention of a planet occupied by Cardassians, who we'll point out are very different from the Kardashians. Oh, you lost me. You just lost me, quiz. Anyway, it's Bajor. It's not Beta Z or Beetlejuice 2, which is in development hell, I'm told. They keep promising another one, but it's never happened so far. And Michael Keaton ain't getting any younger, so if we're going to do it, let's do it. It's Bajor, obviously. Okay. Commander Deanna Troi from Star Trek The Next Generation is half Betazoid, which gives her a unique ability over full-blooded humans. What is that ability? No need for sleep, sensing emotions, unusual strength, or telekinesis? Would it be funny if it was unusual strength? I kind of wish it was unusual strength, but it was sensing emotions. Also, it was the ability, I don't know if this is related to her species or not, but the ability to maintain a position as a senior member of the bridge staff, despite contributing almost nothing to the crew. I love Marina Sirtis. I just don't think her character was that well written. Okay, here we go. The story for Star Trek Enterprise was left unfinished as the series was canceled. How many seasons did it last? 5, 4, 6, or 3? That'd be 4. Alex, you're goddamn right. Okay, number 9, an episode of Star Trek that is widely credited for showing the first interracial kiss on television aired with what series? Now see, if they'd asked for the episode, that would be a little bit more challenging. The episode title was Plato's Stepchildren, but they're just asking for the series. Who doesn't know that? Even people who aren't Star Trek fans know that that happened on Star Trek The Next Generation. I'm kidding! Star Trek the original series. There you go. Okay. Who was the first female captain to star in her own Star Trek series? Okay. Well, seeing as how only one of these characters ever held the rank of captain as a regular on a series, it's not Dr. Crusher, it's not T'Pol, and it's not Jadzia Dax. It's good old Captain Janeway. Next question. In the fan-favorite movie Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, the crew went back in time to rescue whales. What decade did the crew land in? The 1980s, the 1960s, the 1970s, or the 1990s? Let's go with 80s, because that's the right answer. Yeah, and final question of this quiz. Oh, and it's a Star Trek Discovery question. Excellent. What position does Michael Burnham, the star of Star Trek Discovery, occupy at the beginning of the first season? Is she first officer, chief medical officer, science officer, or captain? I'm going to go with first officer because she is the first officer of the USS Shenzhou. And correct. Okay, see results. Look at this. I got 12 out of 12, 100%. I'm fit for the captain's chair. And that was actually a pretty good one to start with because that was a good warm-up. Not too hard, not too challenging. Maybe some of these other ones will be a little tougher. For instance, the next one is from The Guardian. And it was released about 2 years ago in conjunction with the release of the film Star Trek Beyond. And it is titled The Toughest Star Trek Film Quiz in the Known Universe. So let's see if it lives up to that billing, shall we? Question 1. What was the name of Khan's ship? I guess it is technically a film question because Star Trek II was a film, but the name of the ship was originally established on TV, and it was the Botany Bay. Number 2. What is the name of the ritual Vulcans undergo to prove themselves purged of all emotions? That's a good one from Star Trek The Motion Picture. The choices are Kolinar, Kunut Kalifi, Kazwan, and Kobayashi Maru, and it is the Kolinar, which is something that Spock went through and chose not to complete when he rejoined the crew at the beginning of Star Trek The Motion Picture. Where would one be most likely to find Lieutenant Commander Scott in a pub crawl? Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Glasgow, or Balmoral Castle? I'll go with Aberdeen. Yeah, there you go. Number 4. What is the name of the frozen Klingon prison planet from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country? Is it Delta Vega? No. Is it Ceti Alpha 6? No. Is it Ice 9? It is not. It is Rurapente. There you goddamn right it is. Okay. Number 5. What brand of beer do Captain Kirk and Jillian drink at the pizza parlor in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home? That's a good question. I'm not sure about that. I think it's either Michelob or Miller Lite. Damn, I feel like I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm going to go with Michelob. And it was right. Oh, look at that. Took a shot, made a shot. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Who is the captain of the USS Kelvin? Of course, the ship that was depicted at the beginning of the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek film. It was Captain Robow, who also played one of the leaders of the Ten Rings in the Iron Man movie. Number 7. What species is Keenzer? I don't know if this was ever... I mean, it must have been established on screen if they're asking, but I don't remember. But anyway, it's just process of elimination. He's not Gorn. He's not Andorian. He's not Zenkethi, so he is, by process of elimination, therefore, Roilan. Correct. What is the name of the ancient Vulcan process used to restore Spock's consciousness in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock? Another good question. Is it Faltor Pan, Greythor, Hamara, or Mikva? And it is Faltor Pan. Yes, it is. What is the name of the so-called planet of galactic peace in the neutral zone? This is from Star Trek V. Is it Altair 6, Caldra 4, Nimbus 3, or Cestus 3? It's Nimbus 3. Which classic rock band's music was playing when Zephyr Cochrane broke the warp barrier? Was it Creedence Clearwater Revival, the Rolling Stones, Quicksilver Messenger Service, or Steppenwolf? And it was Steppenwolf. I like to dream Right between. I shouldn't do that because I don't have clearance for that. Number 11, when V'ger sends the Ilia probe back to the Enterprise, where is she discovered? Near the warp core, in a sonic shower, in sick bay, or in Kirk's ready room? I think it's a sonic shower because she's naked when she first shows up, right? Yes. She's naked when she first shows up. Number 12, what drink does Dr. McCoy order at the bar before trying to charter a flight to the Genesis planet? Oh, damn. Is it Altair water, Aldebaran whiskey, Saurian brandy, or Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster? I'm going to go with Saurian brandy because that seems to be a standby on Star Trek. No, I'm wrong. Look at that. Got one wrong for the first time. It's actually Altair water. How about that? Haven't watched Star Trek 3 for a while. Now this is telling me I should probably go watch it again. Because that's how I judge if it's been too long since I've seen a film, if I do poorly on trivia quizzes that reference them. Question 13, what is the name of the admiral who agrees that Kirk can demote Decker to XO? Is it Nechayev, Nagura, Pike, or April? I'm going to go with Admiral Nagura. Yeah, that's correct, because we never see Pike again after the menagerie. April is probably a reference to Robert April, who was never actually on screen in any live-action Star Trek, although he was in the Star Trek animated series. And Nechayev was an admiral during Captain Picard's era. Malcolm McDowell, whose Dr. Sauron killed Captain Kirk in Star Trek Generations, is the uncle of which Star Trek alum? I happen to know this, but you wouldn't know this. You wouldn't necessarily know this even if, like me, you had watched like every hour of everything Star Trek ever. It is Alexander Siddig, who plays Dr. Bashir on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Where in the neutral zone was the Kobayashi Maru when Mr. Savick attempted rescue? Gamma Hydra Section 10, Beta Delta Section 5, Theta Delta Omicron 5, or Altair 6 Section Epsilon? I'm going to go Gamma Hydra Section 10. Correct. I think that's just muscle memory. I remember that being mentioned. Oh, damn. What is this guy's name? Okay. Core, Brunt, 0718, or Delta. I know it's not Core or Brunt because I know those characters. I don't think it's Delta, so I'm going to go with 0718. Yes, I'm right. First Contact. What date does this take place? First contact between humans and Vulcans. Is it March 15th, 2063, April 5th, 2063, November 17th, 2063, or December 8th, 2063? Captain's log, April the 5th, 2063. Number 18, what is that thing around Captain Kirk's waist called? A comm belt, a tri-emitter, a per-scan device, or a bio belt? I didn't even know it had a name. This is news to me. This is actually, I don't think it's the toughest quiz ever because some of these questions have been super easy, but I don't know. I'm going to go with comm belt. No, actually, it's per-scan device, whatever the hell that is. What the hell is a per-scan device? 19. Where does this guy work? And this is a still from Star Trek 4, of course. I believe that would be Plexicor. Yes, yes, yes. Before Kirk, Spock, and Bones settle on Row, Row, Row Your Boat, some other songs are suggested. Which of the following is not one of them? The possibilities are Camptown Races, Lakes of Altar Prime, Pack Up Your Troubles, or Moon Over Rigel 7. Moon Over Rigel 7. Spock, do you know Moon Over Rigel 7? No, it's Lakes of Altar Prime. Yes, correct. I got 18 out of 20. Not perfect, not what I was hoping for, but, you know, I guess nothing to be ashamed of. I do kind of question whether or not that was actually the toughest Star Trek film quiz ever. Next is a quiz on the PBS website as a part of their Pioneers of Television series, and it is titled simply, How Well Do You Know Star Trek? So, let's find out. Oh, and I think this might be one where you have to do the whole thing and then it'll give you the answers at the end, instead of telling you per question which one you got right. So this is going to be suspenseful. Number 1, what is the principle of Starfleet's Prime Directive? Hey, that's the subject of the next proper Trek Actually video, so God help me if I don't know this one. It's non-intervention. Okay. Number 2, USS Enterprise bartender Guinan, played by Whoopi Goldberg, is a member of what long-lived species? Not actually ever established by name in the series, but established on Deep Space Nine and also in the film Generations. She is an El-Aurian. What is the name of the Klingon homeworld? Might think it's Kling, but it's actually Kronos, which is spelled like that in the Klingon language. Number 4, Hikaru Sulu held which position for the longest period of time aboard the USS Enterprise? Curious, USS Enterprise A. He held the same basic position on the original Enterprise as well, but it was helmsman. Number 5, what is the name of the species that compelled Captain James T. Kirk and Lieutenant Nyota Uhura to kiss, the first kiss between a white man and a black woman on a scripted U.S. TV show? The Iconians, the Platonians, the Romulans, or the Kazon? I'm going to go with Platonians because it was Plato's stepchildren where that happened. 6, which of the following was not a founding species of the United Federation of Planets? Vulcans, Andorians, Tellarites, Betazoids. It was not Betazoids because, as had been implied for many years and was finally firmly established in Star Trek Enterprise of all shows, the 4 founding members of the United Federation of Planets were Vulcans, Andorians, Tellarites, and humans, us. Number 7. Who was the disgraced scientist who created Lieutenant Commander Data, an android who was ultimately granted rights and privileges equal to those afforded to all human species? Was it Julian Bashir, Noonien Sung, Tolian Soren, or Mabor Jetrel? It's not Bashir, it's not Soren or Jetrel, it is Noonien Sung. Was he really disgraced? I mean, they established that he was kind of a joke, that people didn't believe that he could do what he did, but was he disgraced? I don't know. Anyway, what was Seven of Nine's given first name before she was forcefully assimilated by the cybernetic pseudo-species, the Borg? Ooh, pseudo-species. I guess so. I guess they kind of qualify. Anyway, it was Annika. Annika Hansen, actually. Seven of Nine's original name. What is the purpose of the Vulcan ritual of Kolinar? We brought this up in the previous quiz where I got a question wrong, but it wasn't this question. The answer is a purging of emotion. Number 10. What is the name of the alien who killed Lieutenant Tasha Yar? Oh, I miss her still. It was Armus. Last question. Which title was given by the Bajorans to Captain Benjamin Sisko, played by Avery Brooks, the first African-American captain to lead a Star Trek series? It was the emissary to the prophets. That is the answer. I think I got all of these right, but let's see. I got 11 out of 11. My rank is Chancellor of the Klingon High Council. Interesting. Most of the questions weren't about Klingon stuff, but my title for getting the best possible score isn't like Captain or Admiral or President of the Federation. It's Chancellor of the Klingon High Council. Last quiz. And this once again making some rather grandiose claims for itself, titled Live Long and Prosper, the ultimate Star Trek quiz. Not an auspicious beginning, ultimate Star Trek quiz. Where on earth did James T. Kirk grow up? Iowa. Who doesn't know that Captain Kirk was from Iowa? Okay, number 2. Which then famous, burn, then famous? Which then famous Hollywood actor slummed it on TV in the 60s by playing the captain in Star Trek's original pilot, The Cage? That would be Jeffrey Hunter, who played Jesus in the more recent film version of King of Kings. Number 3, which Star Trek character was the only one who appeared in both pilot episodes? That is Mr. Spock, obviously. These aren't too challenging so far, Zoo. Number 4, what was the alien beverage Baylock served to Kirk, McCoy, and Bailey in the episode The Corbomite Maneuver? Is it Tranya, Saurian Brandy, Romulan Ale, or Rock de Gino? That's Tranya. In the episode Amok Time, what was the name of Spock's betrothed? It's T'Pring. Number 6, which of these Star Trek villains was, in Chekhov's words, a genetically engineered criminal? It was, of course, one of the great villains in all of Star Trek, Khan Noonien Singh. Number 7, which of the following traits is not part of the trouble with tribbles? They talk too much, they eat too much, they reproduce too quickly, they exhibit an allergic reaction to Klingons. They do not talk at all, dear friends, so that would be something that is not a part of the trouble with tribbles. Number 8, in the episode The City on the Edge of Forever, who played the saintly social worker Kirk must let die in order to save the course of future history? Jane Wyman, Elizabeth Taylor, June Tyler, or Joan Collins? It is, of course, the actress that you call when Elizabeth Taylor is too expensive, Joan Collins. Okay, question 9. Captain Kirk and his crew met beings claiming to be all but one of the following figures from human legend and history. I believe the answer is Mozart, because, as they point out here, Flint in Methuselah claimed to be Da Vinci, I believe. Number 10. To which of these extraterrestrial races are Vulcans most closely related? Romulans, Klingons, Organians, Telosians. That would be Romulans, because up until Next Generation, the makeup was exactly the same. Tight TV budgets in the 60s. They were so influential in so much of Star Trek lore, weren't they? What was the fate of Kirk's close friend from Starfleet, Gary Mitchell? It is, he acquired godlike powers at the edge of the galaxy. Kirk had to kill him. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Your friend or the galaxy? Number 12. Who was the only guest villain to appear in more than one episode of the original Star Trek? That's old Harry Mudd. Number 13. What is Lieutenant Uhura's first name? Well, never established during the TV show. In fact, not officially established until the new movies, the Abrams-verse movies, the Kelvin-verse movies, but it is Nyota. 14. Dr. McCoy often grouses that he's a doctor, not something else. Which of the following has McCoy never claimed he's not? I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. I'm a doctor, not an escalator. I'm a doctor, not a coal miner. I'm a doctor, not a cattle rancher. Oh, that's a tough one. Shit. I'm going to go with escalator, but that might be wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. I got one wrong. He never said he was a doctor, not a cattle rancher. Okay, that makes sense. Number 15. Which of these was an Enterprise shuttlecraft seen during the original series? Well, it's not Sagan, Newton, or Einstein because it's Galileo. It was even in the title of a classic episode, the Galileo 7. 16. Which character joined the show in its second season in an effort to appeal to younger viewers? Ensign Chekhov. How did Captain Kirk gain command of the Imperial Starship Enterprise in the Mirror Universe? He won command from Commodore April in a friendly card game. He assassinated Captain Pike and assumed command. He killed his rivals with an alien weapon, the Tantalus Field. He stole the Enterprise from Starfleet. It's either he assassinated Pike or he killed his rivals with an alien weapon. I think it's he used the Tantalus Field. No, okay, I got that one wrong too. Yeah, he assassinated Captain Pike and assumed command. He used the Tantalus Field to maintain command. Okay, so I've missed 2 on this one. I missed 2 on the last one. So 18, what were the names of the whales Kirk and crew brought back to the future in Star Trek IV? They were George and Gracie, obviously. In Star Trek's History of the Future, who will invent the warp drive? This is the one. Zephram Cochrane. 20, which starship does Sulu command in Star Trek VI? That would be the USS Excelsior. Number 21, what originally motivated Nurse Christine Chapel to join Starfleet? To stay close to Mr. Spock, from whom she was seeking revenge. That would have been so much better. To practice medicine alongside her former teacher, Dr. McCoy, to find her missing fiancé, Dr. Roger Corby, or to escape certain death on the failed colony Tarsus 4. No, it is finding Corby. 22. According to the episode The Menagerie, what Starfleet violation is punishable by the only death penalty left on the books? It is visiting the mysterious planet Talos 4, which is under quarantine, following the events of The Cage. Okay, 23. Why does Dr. McCoy's accidental loss of his communicator on Iota 2 in a piece of the action pose a problem? Because the Iotans will disassemble it and learn the secrets of the Federation's technology? Because the Iotans can now contact McCoy whenever they wish, and that would just get on your nerves. Or the communicator's radiation emissions are harmful to Iotans. It's the first one. They will disassemble it. They will find the translator. Actually, it says that right there. I'm talking like I'm smart, but I did know that. I knew that. 24. Almost everyone knows the Enterprise's chief surgeon, Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy. What other doctor do we see aboard the Enterprise in 2 episodes of the original series? I'm going to say Dr. Richard Daystrom. No, it's Dr. M'Benga. 25. Director J.J. Abrams' 2009 Star Trek reveals that Kirk's father, George, served aboard which starship? The USS Kelvin, which is the ship that the timeline is now officially named after, the Kelvin timeline. In The Naked Time, we learn that Mr. Sulu secretly fancies himself a character from what swashbuckling story? The Three Musketeers, The Adventures of Robin Hood, Ivanhoe, or Knights of the Round Table? The Three Musketeers, Richelieu, beware. 27. What causes Mr. Spock to eat meat and fall in love in the 3rd season episode All Our Yesterdays? Well, it's the first one, the alien spores. No, it's wrong. Oh my God. Oh, I got that one wrong. Oh God, it's not that. No, This Side of Paradise. This Side of Paradise is the episode where it's the alien spores. See, I clicked before I looked. It's not that. It's all in All Our Yesterdays. It's the time travel. Shit. Oh, I'm blowing it. 28. What is the title of the song Uhura sings to Kevin Riley in The Conscience of the King? Beyond the Rim of the Starlight, Beyond Antares, The Moon's a Window to Heaven, or Maiden Wine? Beyond Antares, that's right. Beyond the Rim of the Starlight is actually the first line of the lyrics to the Star Trek main title theme that Gene Roddenberry wrote and then never actually used. Can you tell I'm overcompensating now? I'm showing you how much I know. I do know Star Trek things. I do. The fact that I got all these questions wrong doesn't mean anything. I do know a lot about Star Trek. What ancient Vulcan ritual, not attempted since ages past, and only then in legend, restores Spock's Katra in Star Trek 3? Is it Faltor Pan, Kolinar, Kunut Kalifi, or Kazwan? And it is Faltor Pan. Yes, you see that? The refusion. Remember when Mark Leonard as Sarek said that in that movie? Okay, question 30. Of what crime was Scotty accused during a shore leave gone wrong in the episode Wolf in the Fold? Murdering a nightclub dancer, disconnecting the USS Excelsior's trans-warp drive, beaming innumerable tribbles aboard a Klingon ship, or starting a barroom brawl aboard Space Station K7? I love that they're all things that Scotty did, except for the right answer. He never, at least as far as we know, murdered a nightclub dancer, but he did all that other shit. 31. How does Kirk's son, Dr. David Marcus, die? He is killed during an undercover mission? No. He's stabbed by a Klingon soldier? Yes. He contracts xenopolycythemia? No, that's not it. He dies from prolonged exposure to protium. No, he's stabbed by a Klingon on the Genesis planet. That is correct. 32. Which of these games is a favorite pastime on the Enterprise in the original series? Calto, Parisi squares, poker, or three-dimensional chess. I don't think the other three were even, well, they mentioned poker. Obviously, poker exists, but I don't think they mentioned Parisi squares or Calto in the original series. I'm going to go with three-dimensional chess. Which episode introduced enigmatic time traveler Gary Seven in Gene Roddenberry's unsuccessful bid to launch a Star Trek spin-off series? That would be Assignment Earth. Remember when Star Trek spin-off series didn't have to mean just the same show with different people? Remember when he tried to do a spinoff that would have been radically different from Star Trek, but just, branched off from it, instead of saying, we're just going to have another ship and different people are going to be on it? Who was the first person or creature with whom Mr. Spock performed a Vulcan mind model? It is Dr. Simon Van Gelder. In the planned but never produced Star Trek Phase 2 series, which character would have replaced Mr. Spock? It is Lieutenant Zahn, the science officer interested in exploring human emotions. Number 36. Who was the first character from the original series to appear in an episode of Star Trek Next Generation? I mentioned that already too. See how much I know? The fact, I missed 4 questions? That means nothing. Come on. I'm an expert. I'm a Star Trek expert. I know all of this stuff except for a couple questions that I got wrong. It's Dr. McCoy. Treat her like a lady. She'll always bring you home. Oh, okay. Results. Awesome. I got 32 out of 36. And I guess it doesn't give you like a ranking or anything. I just have to live with the fact that I got 32 out of 36. Well, there you go. So I got perfect on the first one. I got 1 wrong on the second one, 2 wrong on the third one, and 4 wrong on the fourth one. So I guess the lesson here is the more Star Trek quizzes I take, the worse I get. So I guess I just won't take any more, ever, and I should be good. Props. Phone. Hey, youngsters, this is a telephone. We used to... Try that again so I look like less of a dipshit. Oh my God.